Core skill number 3, chord shapes. So, you made it past the history of our tuning, the different applications it is used for, and some fundamentals of how to play guitar in general. So before we start actually playing, all we have to do now is tune the guitar. How to tune to our first open tuning, EA-D-G-B-E versus E-G-C-G-C-E. For most of us, our guitar will already be tuned to the standard EA-D-G-B-E tuning, which is normally how your guitar will be set up in the first place. Even if yours isn't though, we will start by tuning our guitar based off of using a tuner, which can either be on your phone or an actual standalone device. Using a tuner. When it comes to using a tuner, your goal for every string is to match the letter to the number you're tuning the string to. Seems simple enough, right? Well, before you start tuning all those machine heads on your headstock, there is a couple of tips and tricks we can use as to not break every string in the process. For simplicity's sake, we are going to tune to our new tuning by referencing the old standard tuning of, you guessed it, EA-D-G-B-E. 6th string. I like to start with the 6th string or lowest string because it is the least likely of the strings to actually break if you were to tune it in the wrong direction. Plus, it will help hold the tuning a little bit better as well. The cool thing about the 6th and the 1st string is they are actually the same letter, as in the standard tuning, which is E. The only thing now is making sure our tuning needle is in the center of the tuning gauge. Let's check it out. So as we begin, we're going to start with our open E string. And as we use the digital tuner, you'll notice that it's basically right there, given the standard tuning. So we're just going to double check to make sure it's center enough. And that's going to be all we really need to do the 6th string. 5th string. Next up is the 5th or second lowest string. If you compare standard tuning to our tuning on this one, you'll notice that we have a note of A compared to a note of G. All you need to know here is we need to lower our note of A down to G. And the way we do that is by loosening our machine head. As you lower it, you'll notice either an A flat or G sharp, which means you are halfway there. Then you should see the note of G and just make sure the tuning gauge is in the center. Next up is going to be the 5th string. And like we said in the description, we're going to take this A note and we're actually going to bring it down to a G. So we're going to loosen the string. You'll see the G sharp or A flat. And now we're back down to the G. A good thing to do is just to let it ring. And once it dies out, hit it again. And once you get close enough, you're good to go. 4th string. Just like with the 5th string, we have a difference of 1 letter in the alphabet. It can also be thought of though as 2 frets, or also known as a whole step with the 4th string. Going from a D note to a C note will be achieved the same way we just did by loosening the machine head and passing the D flat or C sharp note. Once you see the C note, just make sure your tuning gauge is in the center and you are good to go. For the 4th string, we're going to obviously hit the open 4th string, which is going to be a D, but we want that to go down to a C. A, B, C, C is before D. We're going to see that C sharp. And now we've got our C. Voila. 3rd string. Your 3rd string will be just like your 1st and 6th strings in that they are identical to the standard tuning, meaning the notes do not change. Just make sure that the G note is in the center of your tuning gauge. So for our 3rd string, We're actually just gonna leave it at G, but we're just gonna triple check the tuning. If you had your guitar set to standard tuning, it should be pretty close anyways, but once you're there, you're good to go. Second string. The second string is unique in that it will not only be going up a letter, but because it's B to C, it actually only needs to go up 1 fret, or what we would call a half step. Long story short, there is no B sharp or C flat. So you will simply tighten your machine head and see B turn into C. Make sure the tuning gauge is in the center, and you are done with the second to last high string. Next up is going to be our B string, which is the second string, and we're actually going to bring that up to the C. And because C and B have a relationship where they're only a fret apart or a half step, we only have to go a little bit higher, which is good on the neck, which is good on the string, so you don't break anything. And once you get it centered, you're all done. First string. Last but not least is the first string. And like we mentioned before, it is one of these strings that has the same letter as the standard tuning. As always though, make sure that the E note is in the center of your tuning gauge, and you are now ready to start playing! Last up is our first string, and just like our sixth string, we're actually going to just double check to make sure it is in the center, just like the E here. And we are good to go! But before you go to the next video, don't forget you can join our Patreon to get new lessons, tutorials, PDFs, custom content, and much, much more. Link in our bio or description.